16 Business Wednesdays at Jury Bar, which is the lovely venue of JL. And JL actually came along to JL actually came along to a Synergy 16 Business Wednesday at Hyde, and she was my first club VIP guest. And I planted the seed about maybe we can do a future event here. And here we are. Wow. It's a beautiful example of synergies. And already tonight I know that some people have made some amazing connections that will go on to create great business together in the future. And we'll be here every Wednesday for the foreseeable future. And next week we've got a creative special, and the week after that we've got a women in business focus, which doesn't mean it's a women only event. We still want men to come along. We want men to get more into business. We're going to dominate the place. Yes, exactly.
Really?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So, watch out. See, that creates a lot of excitement, and that's the main thing about Synergy 16 Business Wednesdays, is that we want to make business fun, with a capital F-U-N. And that only happens because you guys turn up. You are what makes this night special. So I personally want to say a big thank you to you. So tonight we are here at Jury Bar in Aldgate to spotlight the London Sporting Club. And so I'd like to invite to the stage the founder of London Sporting Club, Mr. Ian Stafford.
Thank you very much. Isn't this where the Beatles were discovered, in the cabin, isn't it? Am I getting confused?
You don't know that answer. I wasn't here.
No, me neither, by the way. That's a joke for the older people. Not us, not us. Not us, no.
Ask my mum and dad.
Yeah. Anyway, carry on.
Yes, well, carry on. Back to us. Okay, so I'm very honoured to be working and affiliated with the London Sporting Club. Ian Stafford is a multi-award-winning broadcaster, presenter, author, and journalist. And he has, over his 25-year career, interviewed some of the most amazing sports stars, and so we're just going to do a little interview with him to find out a few of his stories, and we might just open it up to a little Q&A from the audience if you behave yourselves. So, so what I want to start off with saying, if we can find out a little bit about the London Sporting Club first, and then we'll go into some of your favourite interviews that you've had over the years. So, why did you set up the London Sporting Club, and where can we find it?
Okay, well, really long story, really short. There's so many private members clubs in this city, and I'm generalising here, but they tend to be fairly close to each other, pretty similar clientele, very London-centric, quite creative, which is great, which is cool. I'm a member of a few of them. But what there isn't anywhere, and as I discovered, literally anywhere, is a private members club for sport and the business of sport. And before you go, I don't really like sport, the business of sport is pretty much business now. You think about it, sponsors, brands, insurers, bankers, investors, financiers, marketing, PR, etc., etc. Everybody seems to be connected to sport these days. So it's a specific members club. We're based at Morton's, which is an ongoing, it's a well-known private members club, but it's a little bit quiet these days, and you went to Morton's in the 80s and the 90s, not that I would know, of course, but apparently the older people tell me that it used to be thriving. It was, there we go, nod of the head by one of the older people here. It was thriving. You used to walk in and Elton John would be there playing the piano, but it's a little bit quiet now. It's just because, you know, the world's evolved. It's become more digital. So they very kindly let me move in. So we are an independent private members club that lives in Morton's. And the main thing that we do, Sarah, is that we are a proactive networking club. So we don't just sit back, smoke our cigars and watch it organically grow. We actually make it front and centre of what we do. If you're a member, you are privy to the members list. The members list is just full of CEOs, MDs, really well-known sports people as well. And you connect. I act as a matchmaker. I connect people as well. Sarah, you say, oh, have you got a good sports lawyer? Have you got a good... Yeah, I think of 4 people immediately. Join it, connect you. So we physically go out and connect people together. And then on top of that, we have this fantastic array of other elements. Last week we had our first sporting lunch with Eddie Jones the England head coach of the rugby team. We had the Rugby World Cup there. These lunches are just for 80 people, a little bit like tonight, really nice and intimate, really bespoke. I don't know about you guys, but I've been to hundreds of do's where you sit on table 81, you need binoculars to see the stage, and I had lunch with Eddie Jones. Really? Did you get to meet him? No, he was 3 miles away, the other side of the room. Well, this is just 80 people. So they all had their individual photographs taken, which they were then given at the end of the lunch, framed and printed.
All within the time frame of the lunch?
All within the time frame. There's some poor photographer doing this for 2 hours. We had a great lunch. We had 8 very well-known other sports people there as well. Which
can you say who they were?
I certainly can say who they are,
Excellent.
because they're all over our social media pages. Neil Back, who won the Rugby World Cup with England. Krista Cullen, who scored the winning goal in the Olympic hockey final in the summer. Mark Foster. Some of the older people remember him as a swimmer, some of the younger people know him as a star of Strictly Come Dancing. Who else did we have? Gail Ems, Miss Badminton. We had Andrew Triggs-Hodge, who won his 3rd rowing Olympic gold in Rio in the summer. Alan Brazil, who now presents the Big Talk Sport show. That's 6. Who else was there?
But you mentioned rowing there. Next month, you've actually got Sir Steve Redgrave coming along. Oh, next week.
Next
oh, it's already
Thursday.
Yes, it's May already.
Sir
yes.
Steve Redgrave. So the point about all these lunches that you have it's up close and personal, and these guys are winners. So we've got Steve Redgrave on Thursday.
And he's bringing along his 5 medals.
Just the 5 gold medals. Now I don't know how many people in this room have seen an Olympic gold medal. Anybody seen one?
They're quite heavy, aren't they?
Right, no need to show off. Alright, has anybody touched one? Anybody? Alright. Alright, anybody touched 5? Show it, show it. Anybody touched 5? No, thank you. Right. So, no, you won't either. So that's the photo op everybody stands with, in my view, the greatest British Olympian of all time. And somebody said to me, oh, I know he's cool, but I'm not really into rowing. And I said, it's got nothing to do with rowing. This is a serial winner. This is a guy debilitated by the most horrific illnesses and still went on to do what he did. These are business messages, these are life messages. So we've got this, we pride ourselves in the bar being really, really high. So after Sir Steve Redgrave next week, we've got Kumar Sangakkara, one of the greatest cricketers of all time. He was having a coffee with me this morning. So he's here in June. We've got David Coulthard for the British Grand Prix in July. And we've got something I'm really excited about in August for the World Athletics Championships, the great Michael Johnson. And
that's actually happening whilst the athletics are happening in London this year.
Yes, indeed, yes. And then we've got all sorts of other really big names lined up as well. And it's going to stay like that. So if you remember, you get really super discounted tickets to go to these things and hobnob with the stars. And then we've got, thanks to my friend Michael over there, we've got a complimentary concierge service for members. We do high-end discounts on brands, so you're not going to get £5 off your next pizza at Pizza Hut at the London Sporting Club, but you might get 10% off a 15 grand sporting holiday. So remember, when I say sporting, don't get too hung up by sporting. Bear Grylls, we're talking to Bear Grylls about doing a lunch. I'm even talking to Roger Daltrey about doing a lunch. Why is that sporting? It's not. Who cares? It's Roger Daltrey. Who doesn't want to listen to Roger Daltrey? So yeah, it's really exciting times, and we've also got 12 others around the world as well. Good to open when I push the button, which will be when we've really cracked the London Sporting Club.
So it's going to be eventually a global club.
A global club, a global network. You name it, we've got them, and not just in the traditional places like New York or Monaco, but in what I call the new first world for sport, Mumbai, Shanghai, etc. So they're all good to go. And if you're a member of the London Sporting Club, you could just waltz into the New York Sporting Club, flash your London Sporting Club card, and they roll up the red carpet for you.
And it's not just going to be MD, CEOs, you've actually got sporting personalities who are part of the club as well.
Yep, it's going to be 1,000 members and 1,000 members only, because it's a nice meaty number, so it's a serious network, but not so much that every other person you meet, oh yeah, I'm a member of there. So it's quite exclusive. And roughly, Sarah, 150 to 200 will be recognisable sports stars, and the rest will be all the areas that we talked about, heads of this, CEOs of that. I mean, you don't have to be a CEO, but you do need to be a significant figure in business. And really, ultimately, Sarah, the goal is that anybody who's a member gets a fantastic commercial return on their membership fee, because we're pushing all the time for people to meet and to do business.
And like with Synergy 16, what we're about is bringing new leads, new business, new customers, and joint ventures. So that's part of what you're doing with the business and the network side of it.
And you mentioned a very important word there. 3 letters, F-U-N. For those who can't spell, that's fun. Okay, right? And it's really crucial. We're everything wants to be really slick, really great, really professional, but we're not going to be up ourselves. We're not going to be po-faced. We're going to have some fun doing this as well. So yes, it's a club, and the beauty is, you walk in there. Actually, I've got an hour to kill. I'm going to send some emails, and at the end of it, you've got 4 new friends, hopefully business partners of the future as well. So we are going to have some fun.
And Morton's is centrally located in Berkeley Square, Mayfair. Great facilities at the club as well.
Yeah, we've got a nightclub at the bottom, which we use not as in Stringfellows, as in sort of just for 80 people, posh Mayfair nightclub. We use it also for our pre-lunch drinks and where we have the photo session. We're also going to have networking evenings, sort of 6:30 to 9, canapes. Hey, we'll maybe do a synergy. We should do light bulb. That's a good idea. We'll have a synergy evening there. But it's cool, and it's, again, I don't want 80 blokes going, hello, this is my business card. So we're going to have celebs there. We're going to have a bit of music. We're going to have some fun.
And women.
Well, the other thing, the other point I'm going to make is women. You have my permission to shoot me if you ever, give me 6 months first. You walk in. This is not going to be a club that's just full of, frankly, middle-aged, white, pot-bellied blokes. Total diversity. And the good thing about sport, though, is that it lends itself to diversity. So all ages, all sexes. Both sexes. All sexes.
Transgender would be allowed.
Oh yeah, transgender absolutely allowed. Yeah. All businesses, all sports, etc. I really want to, and it's happening. I mean, we've been going for 4 weeks. Obviously, there's been a lot of work before that. But the lunch was, since we did the lunch last Tuesday, I have no life now. It's just gone nuts. But in a happy, good way.
So you say it's great when you can have fun in business, and your business, talking to people in sports, I mean, you must have loved that over the years, and 25 years is an amazing career to be doing that. In all of the people that you've interviewed, who would you say gave you the most laugh when you were interviewing them?
Laughs?
Laughs. if one exists. Or was it all deadly serious?
No, I'm not serious. I'm in pain. I can talk about pain because I've written a lot of books where I've actually played sport with all these famous people.
I did see you did a wrestling one actually, didn't you? How painful was that?
I was my wrestling nickname, by the way, is the Red Shadow. Did you not know that?
No.
Yeah, I'm actually the only.
Is that because the blood came out?
No, it's just that I came in wearing a cape. And actually, for people who may, nothing else, just a cape. Yeah. Basically, actually, I'll tell you a story. So I fought Roy Jones. Roy Jones Jr. used to be the world's greatest boxer, and I did 3 rounds with him, which was a really stupid idea. But it's for a book. And I said to him, "Don't hold back, because I've got to make this for real." He absolutely beat the shit out of me. And another time, there was a guy called Nikolai Valuev. I don't know if anybody remembers him. David Hay beat him. He was 7'2". 7'2". And we did a sparring session. And I had a protection on my front and back, but he was so big, his arms were so long. When he punched me, it went all the way around my front and hit me on the side. And that was quite scary. But it wasn't as scary as what happened after that. So afterwards, I was really, really sweaty, so I went to have a shower. And there I am. Suddenly I heard, "Ian." I turned round. Let's just put it this way, Sarah. If you're 7'2", that's it. There is nothing about
His
you
feet
that's
were very
small.
big.
His feet were very big. My self-esteem was shattered. Right? And he said, "Pass the soap." And I don't know what he used to pick it up, but it wasn't his hand. Yeah. Anyway, sorry about that. I was a bit rude. No, actually, it wasn't. What do you think I meant then?
His nose.
His nose.
I did see you doing that video, and there's a very
Video,
interesting
yeah.
group of videos on Ian's website. There's a great little montage of some sports that he tried his hand at, and you actually did throw someone in
the wrestling ring.
Did you actually get trained a little bit beforehand?
Yeah,
or you
oh
just
yeah.
literally
No,
thrown in?
I mean, joking about, I did all these sports, and I used to be one of these people who was pretty good at all sports at school. I was in the school first team for everything. I was at the county for 4 or 5 different sports. So like a lot of people, I've gone through like, yeah, I could have done that. Yeah, how did you miss that? I wouldn't have done. Yeah, so there we go.
Yeah,
you're like that as well. We all, yeah. So I actually put it to the test, and I said, okay, well, let's see how good I really am. And it was the excuse for me going around the world playing all these sports. And I did a book called Playgrounds of the Gods, which is when I fought Roy Jones Jr. and I ran in the Kenyan national trials for the steeplechase, which was really embarrassing because I was last by a long way. Yeah, I did all these crazy. Anyway, the second book, In Your Dreams, I became a wrestler. And like all these things, it doesn't work if you turn up and you can't do it. So it's no point of, well, I'm a clown, aren't I funny? You've got to be seen to be really, really trying. And then it's much, much better. So some of you may remember a guy called Pat Roach, Pat Bomber Roach. He was in Auf Wiedersehen, Pet. Or, put another way, anybody seen the first Indiana Jones film when he has a fight on the wing of the plane and the big bald bloke gets chopped to bits by the propeller? That's Pat Bomber Roach, and he was a professional wrestler. He was a professional wrestler. So when he said, did I train? This is what I used to do. I used to go to his house in Birmingham. He had a ring, and for an hour...
A ring in his backyard?
Yeah. He had for an hour, he'd pick me up and slam me down on the floor for an hour. And that was like, oh, this is fun. And then we did this fight in Brighton, the Brighton Centre. And the 2 people we fought, it was tag team, was Dick the Bruiser and Pretty Boy Stewart. Now, Pretty Boy Stewart was a contradiction in terms. He was about 50, and he was bald completely, but he had a long ponytail. And I tell you what he looked like. Both of them were like slightly out of shape nightclub bouncers. So they were like, Anthony Joshua wouldn't worry about them, but they were still kind of hard as nails in an old school way. And basically, the bell went. It was a bit embarrassing because we walked into the theme tune of Auf Wiedersehen, Pet, and we all had to do this. And then I get in the ring, and basically, people say it's all an act. Well, only to a degree. I mean, the next morning,
They do that like slapping on the thing. So I used to watch wrestling as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, they do that. I mean, it looks
you
so great.
you used to be in the front row with the handbag.
Was it Daddy?
Oh, yeah.
Was it
Big
Big
Daddy.
Daddy? Big Daddy. You're all meant to Big Daddy. So my brother used to watch wrestling. I was like, it's all rubbish. It's all rubbish.
The thing is, it's coordinated. It's coordinated insofar as when you know they're going to flip you over. Then actually, it's a little trade secret. A little trade secret. When you know that you're going to get flipped over, you actually add a bit. And the reason why is because you need to land on your back, not on your neck or your head. All I can tell you, Sarah, is that in the morning, my torso was purple with bruising. It was.
What was the name of that wrestler called Bruiser?
Dick the Bruiser.
Dick the
and
Bruiser.
Pretty Boy Stewart.
Yeah. Dick the Bruiser.
But if you watch the video, you see where I take them out. Yeah, took them out. Yeah, and basically then Pat. What happens is because we're the goodies and they're the baddies. He then came in the ring. I sort of left beaten up, and then he finished them off. So you are in the company of a 100%. Winning wrestler.
Athlete.
Fought once, won once.
Hey, wrestlers around the world.
I haven't officially retired yet, by the way. So this all goes tits up. I may go back in the ring as a professional wrestler.
So, out of all the other sporting stars that I've done motorsport, tennis, rowing, of course, boxing.
Yeah.
I mean, out of all of the different types of sports that you have interviewed, was there any one of them your absolute idol and you're a bit starstruck when you met them?
No, because the thing is, they are, end of the day, you learn very quickly, is as Boris Becker said to me. So I went to interview Boris Becker many years ago, and he won Wimbledon when he was 17 years old.
He's one of my favourites.
And he said to me, he couldn't handle it. I sat interviewing Boris, and he started.
He couldn't handle the pressure.
No, he just couldn't handle it. He didn't want it. He just wanted to win tennis matches. He didn't want everything else to
You
go
know,
with
the
it.
fame, the
No.
paparazzi,
No.
the lack of privacy.
Actually, talking about Germans, I interviewed Steffi Graf once. This was really embarrassing because Steffi Graf was obviously brilliant, fantastic, but she had self-esteem problems. Seriously, she had self-esteem problems. And
And she married Andrea?
She married Andrea. Yeah. Well, she got over them eventually. Maybe it was worse after she met me, I don't know. But anyway, but I went to see her, and I got up really, really early, like 3 in the morning, to get out to the States to interview her. And we're talking, and I just went, stifled a yawn, and she stopped. She said, "Oh, I'm boring you, aren't I?" I went, no, I am. Don't worry. This happens a lot. I bore a lot of people. I go, no, really, no. I'm just really, really tired. Anyway, she's later. Her father's in prison at the time for tax evasion. As you do. So when you do an interview, you've got to look really interested.
Was this being filmed, or was it?
No, it was just being. It was a written thing.
recorded,
It was a centre spread of the Independent, and but there was a photographer there. So when someone's talking to you, they're really opening their heart. You've got to look really. Yeah, no, you're not. Oh, am I boring you? Am I boring you? So you've got to do that, right? Anyway, the next day in Bild, which is the Germany's version of the Sun newspaper, there's a photograph of Steffi. We've both got a nice drink, the sun's shining, and I'm like this. She goes, "Is this the new man in Steffi Graf's life?" It was a photo of me. So that was a bit
Not
bizarre.
yawning, obviously.
Huh?
Not yawning.
No. Yes, Steffi's new man is already bored with her. So yeah, and then another German, Michael Schumacher, who of course now, I mean, it's so sad. A lot of people had a perception about Michael, but when you actually got to know the guy, he was, I know he's German, but actually he was quite funny. And he took me round, I think it was Valencia, the F1 circuit, in a Maserati.
Oh wow!
And he said, "I've heard about you because I did all these crazy things." He said, "I hear you don't scare easily. So what do you say?" He goes, "That's right, Michael." So he said, "Okay, we'll see." And then he put the foot down, and I'm thinking, "I've got to be cool, got to be cool, got to be shit. I've got to be cool, got to be cool, got to be cool." And he went round and round and round, and I promise you, the nausea started.
It's a
And
bit
it
of
got
G-force.
worse, and it got worse and worse and worse. And I was thinking to myself, what am I going to do? I'm one lap away from throwing up all over Michael Schumacher. Seriously, one lap away. Anyway, later I did a motor racing book called Who Do You Think You Are? Michael Schumacher, which is what my wife said to me, when I was speeding. And it ended with me meeting Michael. We had a race against each other in the Stade de France.
So you were actually driving this time?
No pressure, just 80,000 people inside it. It was a good race of champions, which they do, you get all the different motorsport people together. And what they did is I couldn't actually physically race against him because they won at the time, so we did a lap. And he did his lap, and then I did my lap about an hour later, at which stage it poured with rain. So I ended up being 12 or 15 seconds slower. And I said to Michael, as a joke, "Well, Michael, you've got to take in the rain factor. I think you'll find..." And this is the mind of a winner, even for that. He goes, no, just look at the record books. Just look at the record. I said, "Do you seriously care?" "Look at that, I beat you by 12 seconds. Okay, all right, you beat me. Congratulations. You've won the world title 7 times. And you beat me."
I'm giving you something there.
Anyway, when I was writing the book, this is a true story, when I was writing the book, I had a friend of mine from New Zealand television phone me up and said, "I hear you're doing a book about Michael Schumacher." I said, "Yeah, guess what? There was a mechanic in Auckland called Michael Schumacher." So I said, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." So this friend, long story short, I fixed up to have a kart race against this mechanic called Michael Schumacher. Yeah. So I absolutely whooped his ass. And the videos, photos, and I said, and it's not a lie, I lapped Michael Schumacher.
Actually, I love go-karting myself, and I'm pretty good as well.
Are you now?
I am. Shall we do a
Oh, we might
little race on the offing
Another
there?
story actually. Do you remember Jonah Lohman? God rest his soul. Lovely man. I had a stupid idea. I had a tackling session in Hyde Park. And the idea was it was just one, he was going to mow me over and I'd then go to hospital and then that would be it. But what happened was, he ran straight at me, and I knew him, he was quite a good friend of mine, he ran straight at me and he knocked me flying. So much so that I almost did a somersault, and my foot, which was just up in the air as I was going backwards, caught Jonah. And the next minute there was this, the earth shook, and I looked behind and Jonah's on the floor. So I said, I've just tackled you. And I said, well, well, that's it, thanks very much, Jonah, I've got to go. And he goes, get back there. Get back there. And now he looked really pissed off. And then he ran at me about 5 or 6 times. Every time it was like a cartoon figure, you know, just like steamrolled into the ground. But as one of my, you know, as we all probably know, he passed away. Actually, this is not a funny story. I do a lot of hosting and speaking and interviewing. You're doing so well tonight, sir. And I did 3 nights of Jonah during the Rugby World Cup in 2015, and the last one was at the Grange Hotel in St Paul's. And he's sitting next to me, and I said to him, "What ambitions have you got left in life?" And this is a really quite seriously ill man with horrendous liver problems, and his 2 boys, aged about 8 and 11, were sitting in front, and he said, "All I want to do is to live long enough to see my boys grow up." And he started to cry on stage. So, you know, this is difficult as a professional interview, because what you do not want to do is just wade in and patronise the guy. You've got to give him some space, but only, you know, it can't go on forever. Anyway, I can't remember what I said now, but I said something which made him smile eventually, and we carried on. Anyway, 3 weeks later, I get a phone call, Jonah's died. Yeah, that was really upset me, that. So there we go, his ambition was to see his boys grow up, and he didn't. So anyway, that's completely put it down. Well,
Esther, what is actually your favourite sport?
Well, I don't.
Do you have one?
No, listen, I've been very lucky to have sat in all the great arenas of the world, witnessed many of the great sporting events, and also interviewed most of the great sporting stars. And I have to say, I don't have a one particular sport. I just love meeting. I'm more interested in the people, to be honest. When I do my interviews, you know, we're hopefully going to have Andy Murray at the London Sporting Club. You'll never catch me saying, "Tell us about your forehand." I don't care about his forehand. I'm interested in the human being, because they're fascinating people.
I heard that his game really changed when he started doing Bikram yoga.
There we go. Thank you very much. I'll make a note of that. but it's all about at the highest level. It's a given. They're very talented people. So what makes winners amongst winners? It's all about the top 6 inches. It's all about the mindset.
It's passion, isn't it?
Well, that makes them really. It is passion, but it's also just this mentality, but which of course then goes across to anything in life, really. It's a refusal to lose. It's to learn how to lose. Sometimes the best winners have had to lose first, and I'm not just talking about sport now. You know, it's about when you are on the floor. In sport, sometimes that's literally, but in life, it's do you stay there or do you get up? And actually, I find top sports people really, really fascinating, and they're all fascinating. Some of them outwardly seem more fascinating because he's really interesting, but others, it's my job as an interviewer to get out what they have to say. So no, I don't have I just love the big event. So the Olympic 100-metre final, or I've got out of my seat twice where literally I'm oh, wow, as somebody working in the media. Because you're not supposed to, you're supposed to be,
but you're human as well, and you feel it, don't you?
Thank you, I am human.
Yes.
I am a human being as well. I have emotions.
Exactly.
But you're not supposed to. Anyway, I did 2003, the Rugby World Cup final. Anybody remember that?
Yep.
Yes. Oh, come on, you all do. It wasn't that long ago. The Rugby World, and I was there. And if you did slow motion, you could see what was about to happen. And if you looked across at the stadium clock, there was like 24 seconds left. So it goes to Johnny Wilkinson. He's missed 3 drop goals already with his so-called good foot, and with his bad foot, he wobbles over this rickety old drop goal, 24 seconds to go. At which point, whoa, I'm off on the seat then. And the second time is Usain Bolt, 2000. It wasn't the Beijing Olympics where he broke both world records, 100 and 200 metres. But in the 100 metres, he broke the world record and he was showboating in the final 10 metres. The next year in Berlin, the World Athletics Championships, he wasn't. So the 200 metres, bizarrely, I looked down and the nearest seat in the stadium, and the media boxes up at the top with all the TV screens, but I thought, no, I want to get really close. And the nearest seat to the finish line was empty. So I went down right to the bottom, and I was as near as this photographer.
It's great when you have that press pass, isn't it?
Well, there you go. I just said I know you, and it seemed to work. So and I went down there, and he crossed the line, and you know he's fast, but you don't know how fast he is. So then you see him cross the line, and then you go to the clock, and he absolutely obliterated his world record. And again, I'm off the seat. And funny enough, the world record he beat was Michael Johnson's, who's coming to the London Sporting Club in August. See what I did there?
Yeah, I like
there
it.
we go.
I like it. So on that note, who out of anyone who you haven't interviewed would you love to interview?
Muhammad Ali, that's not going to happen.
Yes.
But I would love to. If I'd like to, I'm very happy with the way things have gone. But if you've never seen a film called When We Were Kings, you've got to see it. And I don't care how old or young you are, it's not about boxing. You've got to see it. It's music, it's culture, and it's Muhammad Ali, who will always be the greatest sportsman in the world.
That's the one that you wish you could have done.
Yeah, not just, if you've got a time machine, I'd just like to go back and do it. And not just because of what he achieved as a boxer, which was fantastic. It was his stance against civil rights in the States in the late 60s. It was his stance against Vietnam. And even how he fought Parkinson's as well. So he's the one person I would like to be interviewed in sport who I haven't, and let's face it, I won't unless we both meet it again in another life.
So out of the ones that are still alive, who's on your radar that you'd love to interview? Or get down to the London Sporting Club?
I'm trying to. Oh, okay. Well, listen. Next year we're already looking at AJ. Hopefully we'll be coming along. Anthony Joshua, Andy Murray.
Which was a great win this week.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I was there. Yeah, it was.
Was it an electric atmosphere?
It was, and it was a great fight as well. I wasn't expecting him to be that good. So it'd be good to have him along. But we'll have everybody along. Everybody who's anybody.
So, any sporting stars would you like to be interviewed by Ian Stafford? That's a massive accolade.
That's very kind of you to say so. I will pay you later for saying that. But yeah, I mean, Andy Murray we want next year. We want Anthony, because we're pretty much booked up for this year. I know that the NBA and the NFL are meeting me, and they're quite keen. You know, if Tom Brady comes over to the States, we'd absolutely have him. I mean, a top boxer. Oh, I know Jensen Button quite well, who's great fun. He'd be along. And as it's there's only 80 people in the room, he might tell you some stories that I know about, which
he wouldn't tell outside the room.
Which he wouldn't tell outside the room. The life of the F1 driver, not bad, I can tell you.
I bet there's some saucy stories
not
amongst
bad.
that.
Oh, did I intimate that? Yeah.
And it's not just sports stars, because tomorrow you're going to be interviewing Sir Michael Hopkinson.
Well, yes, I'm going to Lord's Taverners, and I'm going to have a chat with the king of interviewers. Piers Morgan's there as well, so it's not all good. but Parky will be there, so I've got to stop myself going when I see it.
Excellent. So let's just quickly, just a couple of questions. Does anyone in the audience have anything they'd like to ask? Tendra.
Young man in the front.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for sharing your story.
Not at all. Thank you for coming.
If I can say, you've lived and are living a blessed life.
Thank you very much.
Can't be more grateful.
I'm very lucky. Yeah.
With all the business that I'm doing or trying to do, for everything I do, I try and have a charitable angle in my business model, without a doubt. And
same here.
I was going to ask you, so how do you bring the world of sports and everything else, i.e. business, i.e. CEOs, etc., to make a charitable difference to people's lives, which we have the blessing to be able to do, privileged to be able to have that pulling power to do. So you can. I'm going to use this phrase, which is quite harsh. So you can kill it.
I've done a number of things over my life for charity. I've climbed Kilimanjaro, I've done the London Marathon, never again, and all sorts of things, which is great, and I've raised quite a bit of money, but I've always wanted to be in charge of something that actually seriously makes money, I mean proper money. And one of the things that I want to do with the London Sporting Club, when we are in a position to do so, is absolutely be philanthropic. Yeah. We're going to have our own charity committee, and everything that I want to do, I want to add a charitable angle to it. Short term, we're getting in bed already with a number of charities, so the Lord's Taverners, for example. We're going to be doing a lot of joint events, and we're going to promote them. They're going to promote us. The Willow Foundation, which I don't know if anybody's aware of the Willow Foundation, it's a cancer charity. Bob Wilson, who's quite old now, but he used to be the Arsenal goalkeeper, he lost his daughter, aged 31. 31 to charity, to cancer. So they want to come on board, and we're going to be agnostic. I don't want to be, oh no, you can't come to us because we've already got a cancer charity, whatever. I mean, you know, you can't pick and choose charity. Is there such a thing as a bad charity? There isn't, is there? So absolutely, I want to do. My friend Michael over there had a meeting today. You know, we're going to support Freddie Flintoff on his next cycle ride. I actually did a cycle ride with Freddie a couple of years ago. I rode behind him, and all I could see was this huge backside on her. He's not really made out to be a cyclist, but he's just got a big heart. Yeah. So, like all top sports people, you know 6'8", about 20 stone, but he still went round. So, you know, we absolutely, I mean, genuinely, not oh because it's a good thing to do, oh it's good to be seen to be doing this. Absolutely want to do that. Yeah, no, from the heart, yeah. So it goes back to what we're saying. Yes, it is a business network. Yes, I want my members to do great, to you know, commercially it's going to work really well for them. But absolutely, I want to do a lot of good, and I want us to have fun as well.
So it could be in the future, London Sporting Club /charity.com.
Absolutely. Now we're going to have a whole, I mean, give us time because we've only just started.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do it, if we're going to do it, you're going to do it properly. But there'll be absolutely charitable arms, and I can tell you now, I give you my word, that's going to happen. 100%, because I want that to happen, therefore it will happen. But it's no point happening this second. But, well, it kind of is, in that charities are coming to us already saying, can we work with you? You know, we're bringing, for the Steve Redgrave lunch, Willow are coming along for the last lunch, Lord's Taverners are coming along, I'm going to the Lord's Taverners tomorrow. So it's happening to a small degree, but give us a couple of years, hopefully less than that, and we'll have, you know, events committees and membership committees, and because we're globalising, we'll have, you know, and it's the same model everywhere else as well, so it won't just be lots of charitable work and awareness at the London Sporting Club, it will also be at the Dubai Sporting Club and Mumbai and Shanghai and New York and everywhere else.
Cool. Time for one more question?
We got two.
Oh, we can do two questions. Yeah. So Christopher over here.
Yeah. Hold on, he was next. What do you do in a bar? You let the people go?
Okay, well, just a quick one. Really.
Better be good now after all that.
You've got people like Steve Redgrave and whatever who are like these incredible, you know, winner type people. Would you also be interviewing people that were sporting people that had overcome amazing difficulties? So, for example, a Frank Bruno who's been battling with depression, or a Ricky Hatton, or a you know, somebody that maybe had been injured when they were young and had to kind of build a life outside sport.
I know Frank the day before he got sectioned. And his.
I think that would be interesting.
Sorry?
I just think that would be interesting.
No, I adore Frank. I'll tell you a quick story about Frank, if I may. First time I met, sorry, what we said?
Thank you very much.
Good night.
Yeah. So the story about Frank is the first time I met him was in Lanzarote, and it was a number of years ago. He was training to fight Tommy Morrison, who, if you don't remember who Tommy Morrison was, he was in Rocky V. Which was the worst Rocky film of the lot, by the way. But that's not Tommy's fault. Anyway, and in those days you could literally only fly to Lanzarote 2 or 3 times a week. It wasn't every day. So I flew down there on a Monday, and that night I phoned home, and we'd been burgled, and the burglar very kindly had put our sharp kitchen knives all over our bed. So my wife was totally freaked out, and I'm in Lanzarote. What can I do? So I said, well, she went to live with somebody else for 3 days. Anyway, I told Frank I never met before, and Frank got really angry. He said, anything I can do to help? Do you want me to come out? If you find them, do you want me to come round and sort them out? I said, it's quite a nice idea. and he kept asking me. Anyway, I didn't see him for a year, by which stage he became world champion. For a year. And he sees me, very first thing he says is, how's your wife?
Aww.
Did you catch the burglar? Now, he would have been interviewed and seen thousands and thousands of people, okay? And then another story is that Franklin Jr., his little boy was christened, and he said, do you want to come to a christening at my house? And I was very, okay, it's very kind. Bring the kids. Fine. I know the kids were small at that time. They said, oh, why do you want to go? We're going to be really bored. And we packed these little bags and colouring books and things so that they could be, for an hour. So we'll just go for now, and then we'll go. We get there. There's 500 people there. He's got a full fairground in his back garden. He's got waltzes, he's got big wheels and everything. Anyway, after 5 hours, I'm saying to the kids, we've got to go, we've got to go.
They didn't want to go home.
Lovely bloke. Anyway, sorry, I've almost forgotten the question. Is it still Wednesday? It is. So the answer to your question is this. Yes and no. No, because the people who are going to be our lunch guests, I want people to go, and they are saying, wow, that is really good. However, we're not just going to do lunches, we're doing networking evenings where, again, top people will come. And Frank, I will look after Frank all day long. I've got a lot of time for Frank. I'm sure all of us in this room have been hit directly, affected directly or indirectly by mental health. Poor Aaron Lennon, only today, the ex-Spurs, current Everton player, has being looked after at the moment. I think the Daily Mail, God bless them, said £55,000 a week, Aaron Lennon. The intimation being, oh, he's really wealthy. What's he got to be depressed about? Which is a total lack of understanding of what mental health is about. So I will look after Frank. He will become a member. He will be my guest. He can do anything he likes, frankly, because I love Frank Bruno to bits. But he wouldn't necessarily be at the moment. I had this exercise. I got offered the ex-Middlesbrough manager the other day, which is great. It was really nice, etc. And I have this sentence, which is Eddie Jones, Sir Steve Redgrave, Kumar Sangakkara, David Coulthard, Michael Johnson, Frank Bruno. It doesn't quite work, whereas Anthony Joshua does. But I will all day long look after Frank. And listen, we're doing events all over the place. We've been asked to go to Dubai and do some events before we even open up in Dubai. So I will look after Frank. And we will do more than just simply huge superstars for lunches. Okay. All right?
Because once a star, always a star. Chris?
Well, I was thinking we're in the heart of the city of London, and
Yes.
I sort of live and breathe this region sort of historically, and I was fortunate to win a scholarship from Lloyd's of London for sport.
Oh.
Who paid my school fees.
Why?
So for being all-rounder, they're not just into people who are academics.
Yes.
So I think I'm on your wavelength when you say it's a mindset thing, because
Yeah.
what I love about sport is that I learned from a young age. I went to boarding school when I was 6.
Where'd you go?
In Shrewsbury.
Okay.
I went to my other school in Felsted.
Just tell us your whole life story.
My school was a very big sporting school.
What were you like as a baby?
They really valued No, I just think that sport has a great role to play, and
It's
I
fantastic.
think the problem with the city and business nowadays is all becoming too much about work and not about teams and teamwork and
100%.
leadership in teams.
Yeah.
Because we don't have enough leaders.
No. Well, the
And I
thing
think
is,
you have a
but
big
this is
role to
not,
play.
you're right, and this is why I was making the point about sport isn't sport, sport is life. And so sport encourages teamwork, where it's not just about you, it can't just be about you, you're only as strong as the person you're working with. It inspires inspiration, leadership, and sport is a metaphor for life, going back to you lose heavily in sports, you're embarrassed, you're humiliated. The top sports people, okay, that's not going to happen again.
I think if you take an analogy of the Battle of Waterloo when they
Yeah.
formed the squares,
Yeah.
it's like perfect teamwork. And
Now you've got lucky there,
you know,
because I'm a history graduate, so
Yeah.
I actually know what you're talking about.
yeah, you know,
I actually know what you're talking about.
ultimately, it wasn't about numbers; it was about the team.
Yeah,
And
yeah. And what did
so-
Napoleon say? What did Napoleon say? Let me first get Napoleon. There we go. It's better. He said, General, I'll do it in English, mainly because I can't speak French. This is a great general. He said, I don't want great generals, I want lucky generals. There we
No, I
go.
think there was another saying when somebody said the battles of Britain were won on the rugby fields of England or something.
Yeah. Well, that's true actually.
Yeah.
The really, really genuinely
Yeah.
posh people
Yeah.
are really hard as nails when they're on the battlefield. Anyway, I don't know how we got into this, but anyway.
Well, I'm just saying we're in the heart of the City of London,
Yes.
and I think there's great opportunity to tap into some of the big organisations in the City of London to sponsor and support your...
You're sitting next to a bloke who's doing that right now, and we're absolutely into that, but at the right pace, because you've got to have the right people joining.
Yeah.
And it's about getting a really nice cross-section of members. So I don't, frankly, want 1,000 city blokes
No,
in there, because there'll be too much cocaine flying around. I want a bit of everything. Absolutely, there's room for bankers and investors and hedge funders, but along with everybody else as well. But you're absolutely right.
That's
Think about sports stars as well. Is that it doesn't matter who you are. And it's the same with rock stars as well, or film stars. It doesn't matter if you're CEO of Citibank and you're on $750,000 a year and everybody fawns over you. If you're a sports fan, you're a sports fan. And that's why it's great seeing all these high achieving people just queuing up really excitedly to have their photo taken at the London Sporting Club with a massively high achieving sports star.
And so, if you are a fan of sport and
A fan
of sport,
Yeah.
a fan of sport,
Sports fan.
and you want to get into the world of the London Sporting Club, then londonsportingclub.com is where you need to go and have a look. Over here. And I think we're going to wrap it up now. It's been fabulous to have you guys here. It's been absolutely amazing to have you, Ian,
Well,
here.
thanks for coming, everybody.
And just a round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And
What
now
are we gonna do
please do go to the bar, get some more drinks and do some more business. And have lots of synergies. Thank you.
Oh, I see what you did there. Right at the end.